All right, so you get bedhead, Anthony, this morning. There's such a thing in biblical studies called reception history. So reception history is not the history of like wedding receptions. It's how has a passage been received over time. So the Beatitudes, the Sermon on the Mount, has a reception history of, at times it was seen as the ethical mandates for Jesus followers. At times it was seen as a description of heaven or the kingdom of heaven, but not actually applicable to today. So I posted a video yesterday that said that the way of Jesus calls for mercy. When Jesus said it in the Beatitudes, it would have been controversial. Over the past, my lifetime, it's seen as just sort of this thing that we aspire to, and now we're swinging back around again, where mercy is seen as controversial, where a call for mercy of the president is seen as like this radical leftism. And once you know it, I have comments from the video places that are like, yeah, mercy does not work in our culture. Mercy is weak. It is not. It sounds nice for Jesus. It does not work for people, and that resonates with the reception history that when Christianity was becoming dominant post Constantine and Theodosius, was becoming the dominant culture, it began to look less Christ-like. The more powerful Christianity becomes, the less Christ-like it becomes. So then the Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes are no longer countercultural, but we just ascribe them to like, oh, you'll do that in heaven someday. Don't expect to do that now. And the other thing that a comment will say is like, oh, this is not a winning strategy. Being merciful, being meek, being poor is not a winning strategy. Now, James Cone, the Black liberation theologian, had a perspective on this idea of winning. And he saw winning as a very white value. It's basically, philosophically speaking, utilitarianism. What's the thing that's most likely to succeed, most likely to get us what we want? And Cone's perspective was like, that's a terrible way to do ethics. Cone would say that if you believe in the gospel, therefore you believe in liberation, therefore you believe in the end of oppression, and that has to be your top level values. And any obsession with winning is going to keep you as the dominator, as the oppressor. So you have to just decide, I am for things that set free, that liberate, regardless of not if it's a winning strategy or not. That is why I think an America first kind of philosophy is so repulsive to the way of Jesus, that America first is a winning strategy. We're not called to be winners. We are called to be alongside the poor and the weak and the sick and the alien and the stranger and the orphan and the widow. Winning be damned.